Hey friends, welcome back to my channel and happy Wednesday to everyone. I am so happy you could be here to spend some time with me today. And if you're new, I hope you will consider hitting that subscribe button to join our crafty little family. So as you all know, recently I have been creating more fast and easier to make projects using hacks like those gift bags from the Dollar Tree. I love to get to the fun part of finishing the base with some beautiful collection papers and all the embellishments, and those are so fun to create. But I also think there are certain projects that are worth spending a little bit more time and a little bit more of your supplies on, and this recipe book is just that. This is going to be so thick and heavy and sturdy and nice, and it will be an heirloom for sure. And I'm using mine as a recipe book, but it is a very versatile base. You could easily switch out this collection for a different holiday or a different season, whatever you want to finish it with. I think it will work perfectly. For this tutorial, I am going to break it up into two portions. Firstly, because this is going to be a really long video, otherwise it will take all afternoon to get through all this, and we don't want to do that. And secondly, because I think this is a very versatile base, I want to create the base separately so that if I need to refer back to it in a new video, I'll be able to just share this portion. So that's what we're going to do today. Part one of this tutorial will be this base. So let me show you the inside. I think it's a very sweet and very retro vibe. It has loads of pockets and inserts, and I'm using some very sweet cooking themed collection papers. I'm actually joining a couple of different collections just to have enough to finish this with all of those layers. So each pocket is going to have an insert that has a sturdy base, and then a couple of the cut aparts from the collection, and each set of pages has a pocket on the bottom and one on the side so that I can have some different style of inserts to put in here. And each set of pages also has a tip in, which will help to keep those inserts secure. I've got a couple of full page flips here as well, with some tuck spots on the front for some additional inserts. And then I've got the whole step repeated for the right hand side. So there is so much room for pictures and journaling and recipes or whatever you wish to add to this. So I hope that you will enjoy today's portion of our tutorial. We're going to create that base. So if you're interested in that, then stick with me and we will make it together. Before we get started, I just wanted to show you the dimensions of the book. This is not assembled yet, but I just wanted to give you an idea of how nice and thick and chunky it is. I do have these pages clipped together, and I'll explain to you why I did that when we get a little bit further along. And I also wanted to show you the depth and quantity of the pages that we're adding to the inside to fill this all in. So as you can imagine, it's going to be very heavy and chunky and thick and nice, and that's just the way we like it. So I'm going to be using a combination of 110 pound as well as 65 pound weight cardstock, and I will indicate that along with the measurements on the screen as we work along, but I just wanted to give you an impression of where we're going when we finish this portion of the tutorial. So we're going to start with a piece of 110 pound cardstock for the cover. It's 6 inches high by 11 1/4 inches wide. It's scored at 5 and 6 1/4. That's going to give us an overall dimension of 6 high by 5 wide, and the spine will be 1 1/4 inch thick. Typically, I would join all of my inserts in and adhere them to the spine. I want this book, however, to open outward, and so I'm going to bring pieces together and then add them to the cover itself, and they won't be attached to the inside of the spine. And so I'm going to take 4 pieces of 110 pound cardstock. This time it's cut to be 6 high by 10 1/4 wide. It's scored at 5 and 5 1/4. I'll have 2 of these for each side, and this is a very good place to use your 2 glue combo. Definitely want the ease of that tape so that it can hold it together while the glue sets up, and you want the glue to make sure that it's very well secured. So I've just taken a line of that a little bit in from the edge so that it doesn't come out. And then I'll bring my two corners together. Make sure the top and the bottom line up. And this will be the first portion on this side. I want to repeat that process with the second piece. I'm going to continue using my two glues all the way throughout. And if you hear that noise in the background, that is the furnace running. It is very cold and gloomy here today, and so we're just going to hopefully be able to be heard well over that. So now I've got two pieces here that are joined together. I'll just press that in to place so it gets a good contact, and then I'll repeat that process for this side, but this time I want my pages to open the other way. I'm really hoping that the microphone today will be working effectively. I have been having trouble with it crackling, and so I have to do a voiceover, but I'm hoping today we'll be able to just talk directly to the camera. Easier to press that portion down so that you can have a flat surface along your worktop. Even though this is not as easy as those shortcuts are, I don't think it's difficult. It's just repeating many processes over and over again, and this is going to give you lots of fun, interactive ways to open the pages and fill them. So that is definitely worth the added time for that. So now our book is going to open this way. I have two pieces of 65 pound weight cardstock. They're cut to be 6 inches high by 10 inches wide and scored at 5. I'm going to wrap that cover on the front and back so that I can add an additional layer of thickness as well as give it a nice clean finished edge. Typically, I would have remembered that it's easier to bring these pieces together if you leave the tape on one side, but I did not do that. I was just trying to work ahead too quickly, so hopefully I'll be able to get that back up. So next, you want to add your adhesive and your glue to the outside, and then wrap that back over. You can flatten this book out a little bit to get it positioned correctly. So now you can see that you're going to get a nice finished edge here on the cover, and you want to repeat that process on the back as well. This time I did remember to leave my tape on, so this one will be easier to adhere. And just fold that over so that you can line up your crease and position it in the middle, and then press that over. You see how much easier that was? I did get some glue on my arm, but that happens to me quite a lot. So let's fold this last piece over and pull the tape and more of our Tombow. And then press that side in as well. There are two additional components to this book. I want to include some full-size flip pages here as well. I've got these prepared. They are also 65 pound weight cardstock. They are cut to be 6 high by 10 wide and scored at 5. So it's going to be the same overall page dimensions. And I want these to open outward. So I did put my double-sided tape on there. And then also my Tombow. bring my corners, sides and bottom together. And now we have one that opens outward, and then these pages open this way. So let's just repeat that process for this side as well. If you like to have more pockets instead, or add a portion for a photo mat, this would be a great place to do that. You can swap out really any of these layering details as you work along, because you have built in quite a lot of space to account for the bulk of all of those layers. So here is this side done as well. Okay, so you still got a lot of space to fill up in here, and I think the best way to do that is by adding pockets. So we're going to finish these on the outside, our full-size flips, when we get to that portion, but I still want to add my pockets. I have 4 page sets inside. I want to add 2 pockets to each page set, and I want to change the orientation of those pockets so that it will be a little bit more fun and interactive. So I've got my pockets here, and they have the same measurements. So the pages that have the pocket on the bottom are going to have a measurement of 8 high by 7 wide. I'm going to score it at 1 and 6. And then I'm going to flip it in my scoreboard and score it at 2. For the pages that have the pocket on the side, my measurement is still going to be 8 high by 7 wide. This time I'm going to go in and score the pocket first, so that is 2 inches. Then I'll flip that around and then score it at 1, and then also at 7. So next what you want to do is remove the portion that is on the top. I marked it with a pencil so it would be a little bit easier to see. I found that this is a lot easier also cutting it on a guillotine cutter. I just lined it up, obviously without the pencil line, and cut down to that portion where my score lines intersect, and then I clipped out the remaining with my scissor. That gives you a nice clean finished edge, but for the purpose of this video I did not wish to bring down my scoreboard. So I'll just cut along here and show you the portion that I'm removing. This is a very easy way to make a pocket that will have room inside for quite a lot of flat keepsakes and inserts. That way you're not gluing the pocket directly onto the front of the page. Once I've got both of these portions removed, then I want to come in and nip off this corner. Just cut right up to where those intersecting score lines are. This helps to reduce a little bit of the bulk there. And then you want to fold those flaps over, and then also fold along the score line. So you can see now that we're going to have a page with the 2-inch pocket on the side. So I would come in with either your score tape or with your glue, or both, and finish off that pocket by adhering the flaps to the back. And then this will act as a pocket with the flap on the side. You want to repeat that process for the pocket that is on the bottom, just removing that excess. And take your time to do a more careful job. As I mentioned, we're going to be creating both of these pockets for each set of pages. So we need a total of 8 pockets finished. Remove that corner. Fold over. Tuck the flaps on. So now we have both of our pocket styles here. I have prepared the pockets for my book, and I'm going to add them now using those clips. I don't want to finish off these by adhering those flaps until I've added all of those pattern papers. It's just much easier to get them inside here and then fold it over. So for each page, I'll have one set of each of the pockets, and I'm going to clip that temporarily. With my metal clips, so you can get an idea of how this is all going to come together. In part 2 of this tutorial, we will be finishing it off with the pattern paper and all of the embellishments. So make sure you come back next Wednesday for the continuation of this project. And I did want to leave it here because I believe this is going to be a very versatile base, and you just simply want to switch out whatever collection you're using to match the project that you want to make. This is also a really good project to use up your stash. If you have different collections that will work together, you can definitely bring them together in a scrap your stash style and get it used up. Here is my last pocket for the inside, and the last one for the outside as well. So this is going to be the base for this project, and you can see how nicely that all comes together. And I hope that you will come back and join me next Wednesday for finishing off this project with our collection papers. So if you enjoyed this portion of the tutorial, make sure to leave me a comment. And if you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day, and I thank you so much for watching. Bye.